Welcome, everyone. I'm going to do a short talk called Has the Golden Age Passed Away? Has it? My friend, the Golden Age hath passed away. Only the good have the power to bring it back, says Goethe, the German philosopher and writer. H.P. Blavatsky issued this encouragement and a warning at the end of her article, Our Cycle and the Next. She says, if theosophy, prevailing in the struggle, its all-embracing philosophy strikes deep root into the minds and hearts of men, if its doctrines of reincarnation and karma, in other words, of hope and responsibility, find a home in the lives of the new generations, then indeed will dawn the day of joy and gladness for all who now suffer and are outcast. For real theosophy is altruism, and we cannot repeat it too often. It is brotherly love, mutual help, unswerving devotion to truth. If once men, and of course women do, but realise that in these alone can true happiness be found, and never in wealth, possessions, or any selfish gratification, then the dark clouds will roll away, and a new humanity will be born upon earth. Then the golden age will be there indeed. Then she offers a little warning. But if not, then the storm will burst, and our boasted Western civilization and enlightenment will sink into such a sea of horror that its parallel history has never yet recorded. So it seems that this was somewhat of a prophecy, as those doctrines have not struck deep into our hearts and minds. Not most people anyway. And our Western civilization has been plunged into a sea of horror, with 2 world wars, acts of terrorism, conflicts, all these natural disasters, etc., which have been unparalleled in history, due to the progress of technology that is eagerly being used to maim and kill our fellow human beings and to destroy Mother Nature. It is true to say that not just an acceptance of the teachings of reincarnation and karma and other theosophical doctrines will save us, even those these can and have been twisted and misrepresented for selfish and evil purposes throughout history, as all intellectual teachings can be, unfortunately. Therefore, all written teachings are a minefield. Most, if not all, of the real teachings are incommunicable, as the Theosophical Masters tell us. But if we approach them in the right way, they can become portals to a deeper understanding. Hindu philosophy teaches of 4 ages that the planet passes through. These are known as yugas. The first is the Satya Yuga, or Golden Age, followed by the Treta Yuga, or Silver Age, the Dvapara Yuga, or Bronze Age, and the final age is the one in which we are in at the moment, the Kali Yuga, or the Iron Age, the Age of Darkness. We are just over 5,000 years into the 432,000 years of the era. Though it seems such a very long time, it is actually by far the shortest of the 4. In the Theosophical Glossary, compiled by H.P. Blavatsky and others, and also in Hindu teachings, the lengths are given as follows. The Satya Yuga, the Golden Age, 1,728,000 years. The Treta Yuga, the Silver Age, 1,296,000 years. The Dvapara Yuga, the Bronze Age, 864,000 years, and the Kali Yuga, the Age of Darkness, 432,000 years. Added up, they become 4,320,000 years in total. The total is known as a Mahayuga, and is a cycle of time as regards the evolution of this planet. Now, in his book, The Candle of Vision, the Irish theosophist George William Russell, also known as A.E., writes, "I knew the Golden Age was all about me, and it was we who had been blind to it, but that it had never passed away from the world." So this is a very interesting comment. He tries to impress upon our consciousness the idea that the Golden Age is really a state of consciousness and not a set in stone, as the above figures suggest. Raghavan Iyer, in his introduction to the book, he edited with his wife Nandina, The Descent of the Gods, the mystical writings of George William Russell, says that A.E. celebrated the myth of the Golden Age as extolling the plenitude of man's creative potential. The doctrine of the Yugas is not deterministic. It merely suggests the relative levels of consciousness which most human beings tend to hold in common. Thus, a Golden Age vibration can be inserted into an Iron Age to ameliorate the collective predicament of mankind. A.E. saw that the Golden Age surrounded human beings as a primordial state of consciousness, but their own pride and ignorance precluded its recovery. In the wonder of childhood, in archaic myths, in the sporadic illumination of great artists, and in mystical visions, A.E. beheld shimmering glimpses of the Golden Age, of universal eros, the rightful original state of humanity. So we can see the workings of this cyclic law in society by looking at history. Civilizations like Greece, Rome, and Egypt had their golden ages and then descended to their ages of Kali. If we are to believe occult teaching, we understand a similar process went on in Atlantis and other lost continents and civilizations. Theosophical teaching says that quite a lot regarding cycles of time and promises that civilizations that have fallen as low as the above mentioned will return in time and repeat the process on a different level. So nothing is ever lost as regards individuals, countries, planets, or even universes. As individuals, we are not free from these cycles, as there is in reality no such thing as separateness. So we also have our yugas. We as individuals have our periods of almost devachanic consciousness and often fall into hellish states of mind and all that is in between. Some people spend a whole lifetime in a sort of golden age, whereas others seem to be doomed to be in an eternal age of Kali. But for most of us, we have our ages more compressed. We may go through all the states in a year, a month, a day, or even an hour, or even a minute. Most of us know the axiom, as above, so below. And the idea that whatever happens in the universe, or regarding the planet we live on, is mirrored in our very own lives. As regards cycles, there are wheels within wheels, from the tiniest imperceptible divisions of time to vast periods of existence that are equally beyond the range and reach of thought. Yet it is the same law that operates on all these different levels of being. Just different manifestations of the same law. To me, the most important point mentioned in Raghavan Iyer's quotation above is that a golden age vibration can be inserted into an iron age to ameliorate the collective predicament of mankind. And this is certainly what advanced souls are doing at this moment on this planet and have done all through history. Poets, artists, musicians, and writers have sporadic insights into this golden age and enrich our lives by giving voice to what many of us only feel intuitively deep within our hearts. On a higher level, even than this, there are those who consciously try to insert these vivifying vibrations into the consciousness of humanity. There are these masters of wisdom and great spiritual teachers of all traditions and of none. H.P. Blavatsky once again says in an article 1888, Thoreau, he was a transcendentalist in American. Thoreau pointed out that there are artists in life, persons who can change the colour of a day and make it beautiful to those with whom they come into contact. We claim that there are adepts, masters in life, who make it divine, as in all other arts. Is it not the greatest art of all, this which affects the very atmosphere in which we live? So in this present time, when materialism threatens to change humanity into soulless machines and to turn brother against brother and sister against sister for the sake of transitory baubles in life's busy marketplace, it is wonderful and a subject for meditation and gratitude that there are those who try on all levels to affect the atmosphere in which we live positively. Without this candle in the darkness, surely we may lose sight of the light completely in these difficult times. Yet history bears testimony to many heroes of diverse cultures and climes who have given their lives to suffusing the world around them with an atmosphere of love and hope. They may have done this consciously or unconsciously. They may be known or unknown, but they are testimony to this undying flame of spiritual light that transcends time and space. It also hints at a power behind the outer manifestations, a brotherhood of adepts who often work behind the scenes in bodies invisible to human sight. Often they are, but always inspiring and instructing those who may be of use to humanity as a whole. In esoteric teaching, these are known as Nirmanakayas or Bodhisattvas in Buddhism. In the article Roots of Ritualism in Church and Masonry, H.P. Blavatsky writes, most of us believe in the survival of the spiritual ego, in planetary spirits and Nirmanakayas, those great adepts of the past ages, who, renouncing their right to nirvana, remain in our sphere of being, not as spirits, but as complete spiritual human beings. Save their corporeal, visible envelope, which they have left behind, they remain as they were, in order to help poor humanity, as far as can be done without sinning against karmic law. This is the great renunciation, indeed, an incessant conscious self-sacrifice throughout eons and ages, till that day when the eyes of blind mankind will open, and instead of the few, all will see the universal truth. These beings may well be regarded as God or gods, if they would allow the fire in our hearts, at the thought of the purest of all sacrifices, to be fanned into the flame of adoration, or the smallest altar in their honour. But they will not. Verily, the secret heart is for devotion's only temple, and any other, in this case, will be no better than profane ostentation. So despite the horror that we see around us, I believe there is every reason to be hopeful. We have only shut out the golden age in the same way the clouds mask the sun. It really is all about each one of us. We can feel it when we look at great works of art, or read or listen to inspired poetry or wonderful music. We can sense it in the many manifestations of nature and in the deeper intuitions that transcend the world of forms. There's reason to believe that there are those on this earth who dwell in states of consciousness that are far above the so-called normal, and who watch over us from spheres of being unknown to most of mankind. They also periodically take on human form and walk amongst us in secret in the full glare of publicity, depending upon the nature of their mission. Krishna, speaking as the higher self, says in the Bhagavad Gita that whenever there is a decline in virtue or an increase in evil doing in the world, he manifests himself for the protection of the innocent and the overcoming of evil. So the higher self is a protective influence, whether as an individual inspiration or in the form of some being hidden or obvious. It is essential to be aware that something positive can be done and that we can all contribute our own widow's mite to helping the evolution of the planet and in making sure that the light does not go out altogether in this so-called dark age. We can all testify to finding our own little sparkles of the golden age amidst the great cacophony of this hectic world, and of seeing some of its qualities and attributes in the lives of others. All this should help to make us feel hopeful and give us a basis for our own positive thoughts and actions. Thank you very much for listening. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace on earth and goodwill to all beings. And see you next time.